Jessica, what are you watching this week?
Uh-oh.
Well, I have a little bit of an announcement. So I started binge watching a show that's on Amazon Prime last night, and I got all the way through the first season in one night because I was so addicted and obsessed immediately. And it is called The Vintage Voyageur. As you probably all know, I have started to sell vintage clothing like online and have started to do like pop-up events around town. And I'm really into shopping for vintage clothing. And so this was something that I had been following this person. Her name is Allison Maldonado on Instagram, and realized that she does a show on Amazon. And I was like, what? This is a show about vintage shopping. This is like
Built for
right
you.
up my
It's
alley.
literally created
It's
for you.
literally like created for
Kind
me.
of like that Netflix original.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, so I, was so obsessed with it last night. I like on social media, like raved about it today. And she actually messaged me back and said, thank you so much for, saying that you love the show. We talked about vintage things. She said she's actually she's on the road right now, so they're going to start filming season 3, and she's actually going to come to New Mexico and do an episode, which is awesome.
Are you going to get to meet her?
I would hope so. We'll see.
We need to
I
have her
will
on
kind
the
of
channel.
lose my mind if I do that.
Great.
Yeah.
But it was really cool because she like talked directly to me. She talks directly to like everyone that comments on her stuff. She's very personable, very relatable.
The power of the internet.
Yeah.
Right?
And she was like, oh, I can't wait to see a review on the show. So she's going to watch
So
us.
what do you
So
give her,
hi,
like
Allison.
a 1 to 2 stars out of 5?
No.
5 stars. 5 stars.
5 stars across the
5
board.
stars.
I can attest
love
to
it.
your like immediate excitement. You're
Oh
like
my
I came
God.
downstairs after a few hours and you were like, I haven't stopped watching this. And I was like, what is this?
I went down that rabbit hole
Nice.
so
Yeah, you
fast.
did.
Awesome.
So I actually wrote out a review of what I think. This is what I said.
Do it in your own voice.
I'll do it in my news anchor voice. So I think that this is a witty, fun-filled ride. Allison is a delight to watch. She's incredibly knowledgeable about vintage. She has impeccable style. She does these little segments at the end of every show called Vintage 101, where she gives you tips about how to buy things, what are some weird facts about vintage, like how sizes have changed a lot over time.
How to wear things.
How to wear things. She did one on like how you can wear a scarf as a top in like 5 different ways and how you tie it. And she
I'm gonna watch this
yeah,
show.
it
Just
is
Allison,
wonderful.
You got me. She
Yeah.
got me. That's it. I'm gonna watch it.
It's wonderful.
I'm gonna watch it.
She does these unique segments, so it's not just vintage clothing. She does segments where she goes to vintage toy stores. She goes to vintage sports paraphernalia stores. So she like
Jewelry.
jewelry.
Yeah, yeah.
She does all kinds of stuff.
Cool.
She meets up with these people, these 2 women who do like vintage shoes, like they recreate vintage shoes, but they're new, but they're vintage styles. And she is hysterical. That is my favorite part of the show, is that she makes it so fun to watch. She's so funny. She talks to all the owners about the owners of the vintage shops that she goes to. And she talks about the philosophy of, vintage clothing, what their personal style is. It's really great. She goes to these stores and like first it starts off in New York, and then she goes across the country and starts going into different vintage stores like in Pittsburgh and Chicago and places like that. And she tries a bunch of things on. The owners kind of tell her the stories behind all the clothes, and it's just really, really great.
Nice.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of an episode with she brings her friend who's a guy and they try on male clothing.
Because
And
it's
like
a store that specializes in men's suits.
yeah, and like
Cool.
I wear like $3 Hanes shirts, so I don't have that in me. But after watching that episode, I was like, he looks like he feels like empowered by what he's wearing. I've
Yeah.
never felt that
It's
really.
so great because
it was-
her motto
the
is
power of clothes.
her motto is that your clothes should make you happy.
Yeah.
And I agree. They should make you happy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really love just her personality and how funny
philosophy
she is.
behind it too.
Yeah.
And this is an
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime. Nice.
And I think there are 2 seasons out so far, and there is going to be a 3rd one coming up.
It's really cool that Amazon
Vintage
Prime is
Voyageur.
putting out shows that are kind of indie like this.
Definitely.
I don't know that we would have seen something like this on Netflix or you know what I mean,
Necessarily,
Hulu.
Yeah, no, maybe one of the channels that there's a like HGTV and
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I could
Yeah.
see it there, but it's
Maybe.
actually
Right.
cool it's on Prime because people have ready access to
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
And she actually started off as a YouTube person. So,
Nice.
and then it got picked
Well,
up
that's
by
cool.
Amazon
Yeah,
Prime,
that's cool.
so
That's real cool.
really cool.
Very cool.
Favorite piece that she's bought so far, sailor jumpsuit from
Nice.
probably the 60s or 70s.
sailor jumpsuit.
It's a sailor-esque jumpsuit.
Is it super cute?
Oh my
bet.
god.
Oh my god.
I really
We
want
need to get
ask
sailor
you,
jumpsuit.
There we go.
I really
I'm
want to
down.
ask you, Allison, like, how do you not buy every single thing? How do you control it yourself? Like, how do you have self-control? Like,
Yeah.
that's
Teach
just
us.
my question.
Teach us your ways.
for you. So if you watch this, please answer that.
And I was really surprised. I mean, like, I've kind of helped Jess, and I like watch her like grow in her love for vintage, and then getting to the point of where she's like in the community and selling it. But I found it really interesting that you said she said the best place to get vintage clothing is in New Mexico.
Well, she didn't say the best place to get vintage clothing. She said that she is from San Diego and now lives in New York, but she's from San Diego originally, and she's Hispanic. And she said that she has a really big Southwestern flair to her style.
Oh,
and
gotcha. Okay.
And she loves New Mexico. She said it's one of her favorite places.
One of her favorite.
Nice.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
in the world,
Just in
you know,
life.
like she just loves it here.
Cool.
So
Okay.
Alright.
yeah.
Nice.
She's
Cool.
gonna come and shoot an episode here.
I know it's gonna be great. I wonder which store she's gonna go to.
Ooh,
I gave
I'm-
her some suggestions.
What did you
so.
suggest? Because I'm thinking of
I suggested Avengers Vintage, Off Broadway,
off Broadway. Sure.
Paradise Club, Plumed Serpent, and Frock Star.
Frockstar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just if you're into vintage in Albuquerque, those are places you could go as well.
There's
Yes.
a lot.
Local,
is, yeah.
local businesses.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Also, if you want to be on Color Circuit, hit us up,
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
we'll hit you up. We'll see.
Maybe we'll
Yeah.
hit you up.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll hit us. Maybe you'll hit Dylan.
You can hit me. You're welcome
Maybe
to.
maybe you'll teach him how to dress. Or
Ah.
I think you should.
I actually, yeah, I have some ideas.
Yeah.
in my mind.
I'm gonna show up tomorrow on
Dapper.
or next week on Screen Source in a sailor-esque jumpsuit.
Oh my god.
I think
Be
that's
dope.
what-
Fingers crossed.
Super.
I have
Super
so
cute.
many that you can try on.
If you didn't watch the show before, you should now.
yes.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Wait.
no!
Let's jump back
Me.
real quick. We are skipping over our required viewing. We're going to be talking about it next week instead. And so if you could show that last slide of the required viewing.
Mary and the Witch's Flower.
Yeah. Just make sure you
On
guys
Netflix.
watch it, and then we'll talk about it next week a little bit more in depth.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that'll be next week. Okay, cool. So let's move on to our game. Every week we gotta do a different game. It's Last Blank Standing. I don't know what came over me, but I was thinking about people that make me happy when I watch them on film or television.
Okay.
And I think that's called being a charmer.
Sure.
They probably even got positions because not only they're great actors, but they're charming.
Okay.
And so I chose a list of people that I thought were and
I
they're-
think it's really funny that you chose 2 women who your girlfriend gets compared to regularly.
that's true. You do get compared to them.
Nice.
Yeah, you even have the same like wing going on as her.
Oh.
These are very charming
Shocking.
people. You're a charming person.
I
You're
know.
great,
Aw.
and
Thank you.
And you guys are a
Thank
couple.
you.
I can't imagine. That's like, yeah.
I know, and I look just like John Hamm, so so I get it.
I was
get
gonna
it.
say The Rock.
You're
it's
gonna
the
Right.
chisel.
start dressing
Yeah,
like
yeah. It's
him.
the
Obviously,
it's the
you're
arms.
Dwayne Johnson.
It's the arms.
Yeah.
So
geez.
there's a cast of 6 people up here. There's 4 of us plus a producer. So our producer is going to eliminate the first person, and then we are going to go down the line, and eventually the last and best charmer standing will be the best of all time.
Okay. Okay.
So
okay.
who are you getting rid of, Mr. Hector?
I play paper on the rock.
Ah, he plays paper on the
Dwayne
rock.
Johnson out in the beginning.
Getting rid of the
Oh,
rock.
No.
Sorry,
that makes
Stan.
you
Sorry,
sad.
Stan.
Very sad.
Because
did
you've
not
been charmed by him
anticipate
many
that.
times.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yes.
I'm not. I'm actually not mad at that.
I'm not mad at
okay
it
with
either.
I'm okay with that, Hector.
I'm not mad. I'm just heartbroken.
Oh,
So then we
Stan,
just
I'm
go
sorry,
right down the
Stan.
line.
Sure, yeah,
How we
yeah.
do it?
You'll go last. That'll be
Okay.
fine. If that's all right, you guys okay with that?
That's
Yep.
fine.
Cool. Who you getting rid of, Stan?
I'm gonna get rid of John Hamm.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You broke my heart
Oh,
now. Mad Men's like
man.
one of my favorite
Nice.
shows.
Nice.
The ultimate charmer.
Nice.
All
And
right.
not just that, he's also like when he's in comedy, he's really good at that too.
Yeah.
Very
oh my gosh,
funny.
Bridesmaids. He's hysterical. I'm getting rid of George Clooney. Don't hate me.
Oh.
Clooney.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Well,
I see
should
that.
I go? You're gonna go last.
Okay,
I think
you
we can
go.
do that. I am going to get rid of Miss Audrey.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I must choose between Winona Ryder and Jeff Goldblum.
Nice.
Oh, that's kind of an easy one.
Oh no.
One of them is like known as the charmer. Like,
Yeah, he is.
like he's charmed my snake many times.
Sure.
he's the ultimate. He's kind of the
He's
ultimate.
charmed your snake.
Yeah, he's.
His snake charmer.
Right on. Boom.
Yeah, there can be only one. And,
There can
and
be
it must
only
be.
The last charmer standing
It
is.
must be Mr. Jeff Goldblum. I'm
Okay.
sorry, Miss Winona Ryder, you're
Okay.
gone.
Okay.
Mr. Jeff
Okay.
Goldblum. Mr. Jeff
Okay.
Goldblum.
Yes.
I'm with you. I am with you completely.
Yes.
And I feel good about that choice,
feel good about
actually.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no regrets.
It's almost like
Oh, I
that was
love him so
inevitable.
much.
But I will say, like, Clooney is so charming.
He's
I-
very charming.
These are all charming people.
You guys should
They are.
all watch the video
That was
of
me
Jeff
that got rid of John
Goldblum.
Hamm. Because I thought he was the obvious choice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You
Who
thought
was the
Ham
obvious-
was the
I
obvious?
thought it would have been Ham. That's why I was like,
Oh,
interesting.
I thought it was gonna be
No.
Clooney.
What
Okay,
did
so
he-
mine would have been Ham. That's my favorite. Who would your favorite have been? Your
would've-
pick.
Oh boy, it would have either been Goldblum or Winona. God damn it, it's so hard. I
yeah.
can't.
That's,
Who would yours have
Goldblum.
been?
Girls.
Goldblum.
Oh, you're good with your choice.
Absolutely. I'm 100% behind it.
Yeah, The Rock with
Okay.
Goldblum was a close second. Actually, Goldblum and both of them. I love both.
It's
of them.
hard.
But it's The Rock
Yeah,
for
yeah,
you.
but it's The Rock.
It's The
It's
Rock for
hands
you.
down.
Hector,
video-
who would yours have
Oh.
been, Hector?
Who would you?
Clooney.
Clooney.
All
right.
He likes
He's
the
very
classy.
charming.
He's a
Yeah.
classic
Yeah.
charmer.
Sure.
What video were you talking about?
Oh,
we should
I was
watch?
gonna say if you want to watch something that will make your heart warm, watch Goldblum doing. He reacts to tattoos of himself.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
That's
It's
good.
It's great.
So
It's a
good.
pretty
Yes.
great.
Yeah, who
Oh
put
my
that one
God.
on? I
I
can't
love him
remember,
so
but it was
much.
good.
BuzzFeed or
It was a
somebody.
show, yeah. I thought it was like a late night show. segment.
He's also in a jazz band, and I've had
What?
several friends that have been to his shows and like have met him, and like he's had his arm around them for pictures and stuff, and I'm like,
and
oh
he's
my
like super
God.
freakishly tall.
What does he
Yeah.
smell like? Does he smell good? I bet he smells fantastic.
As far as I've heard from both of them, they say that he's a lovely human being.
What is
Nice.
I bet he
like?
smells great. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a valid question.
Yeah.
I want to know.
I will say, like, Winona, like, is always, she's kind of like a
Oh man, in
like
Beetlejuice,
like a
she's so
manic
cute.
pixie dream
Yeah,
girl
yeah,
to
yeah.
me.
Yeah. Although fuck that trope, but yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's all
Yeah.
like I
Okay.
picked. Yeah,
She's like
sure.
kind of the ultimate, and then Audrey. Oh, she's just
Yes.
so
Just classy.
just
Yeah.
classy.
Just classy
Yeah,
lady.
yeah.
Classy
Just-
lady.
Oh, yeah.
Classy lady. All right.
yeah.
Do we have to?
We
is
can all
that
stop
it?
swooning now.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Never
They're
take
all
them off the
swoon
screen and
worthy.
I'll stop. Oh.
Yeah. All right, now we're moving
Take the
into our
time.
trailer segment. And are you gonna have to take off right now?
I kind of need to go.
Sure,
But
yeah.
maybe I can.
Did you want to
watch
see if there's a trailer that you were
Yeah, what are the
particularly interested in?
What
choices?
do we got?
All right, so we got King of Thieves, Napoli Ever After, If Beale Street Could Talk, Forever, and Pokemon.
You know what? I'm okay. I think I'm gonna respectfully step away
is
because
totally
I
fine.
gotta get out of here. I
Yeah.
promised
Sure.
a friend I'd take her to the airport.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
that's
That's
important.
pretty important.
Yeah,
You
that's
are
important.
She can't be late for that.
No, I don't
no,
want her to
no,
be
no.
late. But this has been super fun.
Can you do me a
Yeah.
favor?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Can you put the Ewok in your place, like in your seat?
Where's the
Like
Ewok?
when you leave.
It's right over there.
Oh, top shelf
Yeah,
there?
he will be our Bridget.
That's gonna be the stand-in. Yeah, let me get him.
Cool,
Yeah,
cool.
cool. All right,
Might
thank
be
you,
hard to
Bridget.
get,
Oh,
just
also
so you know.
congrats on you got a play coming up, directing.
Oh yeah,
co-directing?
I'm gonna be. We're about to start rehearsals. I'm in and also assistant directing a production here in Albuquerque at the Vortex Theater called "The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime."
Ooh.
It's based on a book by Mark Haddon. It's about a young man with who's on the autism spectrum,
Okay.
and we're literally having our first read through on Monday. But we've had a couple
Nice.
meetings, and we're getting ready, and it's going to go up late September, and I'm excited.
Congrats.
So that
Very
means
cool.
I won't be on. I'm just gonna. Won't be able to be on the show for a while because I have rehearsals. But if I have a free night, I will let you know. Because
Awesome.
I love being on Screen Source, but.
Yeah, we love having you here.
Yeah. No, but
Yeah, no, no.
that is
Yeah,
Go do
that's
the real
awesome.
things.
That's
I
awesome.
want to
And
see
we'll
that
judge
show.
them.
That sounds really good. One of your last plays was phenomenal. It was
Yeah, the
wonderful.
last play you directed,
It was
we
so
were
wonderful.
crying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like actually
Was it
crying.
She Kills
Yep,
Monsters?
She Kills
Yeah.
Monsters.
You
We were
guys
crying.
cried?
We
We actually
cried.
both cried. Yeah.
Very
Nice.
good. You're a very
Yeah.
good director.
Yeah. It was
Awesome.
really, really good. And I don't cry in plays very often, but I think that's because I haven't seen enough like dramatic plays.
Yeah.
This
I've seen a lot of like scary plays or like
This
you
one's
know.
got some. It's pretty intense. It's going to be very cool and intense and interesting. And
Cool.
Hope you
Cool.
guys come see it.
All
Yeah.
right.
see it.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye, Bridge.
Bye. Thanks for coming.
I've never called you Bridge. That's a new thing.
That's a sign of true friendship.
Side of
There you go.
friendship. So yeah, be careful.
Be careful out there.
Cool. So first trailer. Oh, also real quick, the game here is watch, rent, or skip.
Yep.
If it's
Yeah.
like a Netflix or something, the rent is equivalent of leaving it in your queue for a little while. Anyways, let's watch King of Thieves. I have no clue what this is about,
Do
but
it.
we're gonna find out.
I have made more money out of gold than all the great train robbers put together.
You still thinking about?
It's a lovely vault, that.
Nice.
If I can round up the right people,
What kind of people?
Where do I know that guy from?
How's your new hit going,
Is
Ken?
that Matt
Daredevil.
Murdock?
It's Daredevil.
Yeah. I didn't know he was British.
what?
He's deaf as a post.
Hatton Gardens, Easter,
Okay.
no one at home. We go down the shaft like Spider-Man, then through the wall. And the vault is ours.
Ken?
Oh,
Oh, me nuts.
Dig a grave. They're killing me.
no. Nice.
Nothing like old men and penis jokes.
Right.
Oh, tell me.
Try breathing in.
Oh, God. Oh, it up.
Don't eat anything while you're in there, will you?
The problem with gold, it's easy to get, but it's difficult to get rid of.
Whoa.
Police have said this is the biggest robbery in UK history.
Everyone
Nice.
thinks you've lost your nerve.
Well, I don't want to get caught again. I am not stupid.
Unless they're complete idiots, the jewels must have already left the country.
Those dingbats, they've mucked us all up.
I'm the governor now.
I'll have you few chunks.
Danny's a bit of a psychopath.
Is this everything? You switched them.
You thief. Whose side are you on?
If anyone's the weak link, it's Brian.
Ryan and Kenny.
Yeah, Brian Kenny. And Billy.
They're like a pack of
Mike
starving rats.
Cocaine.
It's just so disappointing when people stoop to backstabbing.
Charlie Cox. I can't remember his name.
It's the blind leading the deaf. Do you think he's dead?
Let's go. Leave him to pay.
Oh man.
All right, King of
right.
Thieves.
Oh, that looks adorable. looks so freaking cute.
Largely because Michael Caine is like your like favorite.
I wish he
grandpa
was my
actor.
grandpa.
Yeah.
I wish he was.
She talks
I
about
love
him all like
so
way
much.
too much.
Nice.
I love him. I don't care what anyone
He's
says.
a charmer too.
wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
King of Thieves, if I'm not mistaken, there's a show on Netflix called White Rabbit Project. It's about it's a show that stars the B team of MythBusters.
Okay. Right.
And they made a show, and it's still kind of myth busting in some ways, but they basically have a topic of focus every single episode, and they go through a handful of different things relating to it, much like MythBusters. But they did one about world's like craziest robberies or break-ins or breakouts or something like that. Those might even been 2 different episodes. And they did a whole thing focusing on this
case.
This case, and I'm pretty sure, and I'm almost positive this is based on like a real thing that happened. Bunch of old white men trying to get away with like this crazy elaborate bank heist.
Right.
And it's super interesting, the story behind it.
Right.
And
Cool.
I won't spoil it, but if you want to be spoiled, go watch that.
Okay.
But otherwise,
And
what
I
did you
love
guys?
you, Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
Michael
How
Caine.
did you guys feel about it? I mean, it
looks fun.
Yeah.
It looks fun. I don't know that I'm going to rush out and see it, but
Who's the demographic?
I'll watch it.
That's my question.
Old white
I
men.
don't know.
Is this for like a 40 and older, 50 and older
I don't
crowd?
know about that. I
Our
think
parents.
If you see what hit me is a heist movie. So
Yeah.
that's I'll watch a heist. It doesn't necessarily have to be that it's old men.
Right.
I'll
It's
watch
certainly
it,
a different type of heist movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and then like in that vein, we have Ocean's 8 now. So it's kind of it's like and it's,
Yeah, you're right.
Like I saw the sort of the heist first before like the real actor angle.
Okay.
So I don't know. I would watch I'll watch most heist movies.
Okay.
So maybe it's like the crime crowd.
Gotcha.
True crime, maybe true
Yeah,
story crowd.
I love that stuff. Yeah, absolutely. But you're thinking you would maybe hold off, maybe rent it.
If like I would do a $5 day, especially like if it reviews are good, it sounds good. Yeah,
Sure.
I would check it out in the theater.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't like just go to the regular theater like right when it comes out, but I will definitely rent it.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
definitely, because I love Michael Caine. It looks very cute. So
I suspect this won't be like a big hitter in the box office.
I did like. Did you see what it was? It was another bank heist. It was a couple years ago.
Logan Lucky.
Logan Lucky was very good.
That was good.
It's called The Bank Job. It was Jason Statham and Saffron Burrows. There's a bunch of British actors in it.
Oh.
The Bank Job.
It's about it's actually a period, and it's about like I think like maybe an old British heist, and that was one of the biggest in the day.
Jason
in that
Statham's
day.
in like every heist movie.
He pops up.
He's in the
lot.
Italian Job too, and I love that.
Yeah,
movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
And that I think that might have been like an old school British heist. But
Okay.
that's what it was about, and it's a period, set in the period.
Gotcha.
Isn't Jason Statham also in one of the Ocean's movies?
I don't know.
No. I was gonna say I thought he was for some reason, but probably not.
Italian Job. He did the Transporter
Right.
series.
Which
Those
is
were kind
sort of
of
heisty.
Action.
it was more action. It wasn't
films.
really heisty. I can't think of any others.
This movie is directed by James Marsh, who probably known for The Theory of Everything, that movie that came
Got
out
so
in
many
2014 about Stephen Hawking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't end up watching that, so I don't know.
No.
I want
that's
to
like
see
a
it still.
biopic. And then he did The King in 2005. So that's going backwards. And then Shadow Dancer in 2012.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I haven't actually seen what this guy can
haven't seen any
do.
of these movies, yeah.
And these kind of, all of them seem like kind of like low key. He's not like aiming super high. But and some of these, just like the in like The Theory of Everything, it's based on it's based on a story on somebody or something that happened. So
That's a legit it's like a legit genre almost.
Sure, absolutely. Okay, so that was The King of Thieves. Let's move
Cool.
on to our next trailer,
Napoli Ever
and it is
After.
called Napoli Ever After.
Cool.
Interesting. Oh, I love her. I don't know what she's from that I know her from, but
Ever since I was a kid, my hair was everything. I had to be fixed. Only then was I perfect. What do you think? Perfect.
You're my go-to girl. Good job.
Tonight is going to be the happiest moment of my life.
What do you get? The perfect woman. Meet Lola.
oh, She thought he was going to propose.
You said I'm perfect.
Oh, right.
24/7 perfection. You never let your hair down.
You don't want you on the account.
You can sponsor like 6 kids with that money you spend it for your hair.
Excuse me?
I apologize to my daughter. She knows better.
Wow. Just be yourself.
Who would that be? The anal compulsive Miss Perfect cut or the not fun, never spontaneous weave?
Well, personally, I really like the weave.
I've worked so hard to be perfect, and it still wasn't enough.
Oh, God.
Oh.
There you go.
Nice. Is she doing it for real? Yeah, she's really shaving her head.
Is this the?
Yeah, nice.
Is this the climax of the film?
I doubt it.
No. She still looks beautiful.
Right. She's still stunning.
She's having a Britney moment.
This is just something you did on a whim. I think you've been building up to it.
Yeah?
You gotta own it, girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where are you going? To dinner?
What brothers want is a woman who's real.
My dad won't let me perm my hair.
You don't need to do that.
This craziness has got to stop.
That's right. That's right.
Nice.
My hair was like a second job. Now I'm forced to focus on myself. I wonder who I'll be.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dig it.
Netflix original. September 21st. Very soon.
Okay.
All right. So I can already hear the moans of people, maybe white people. I don't know. Regarding this, I will say, though, that like this is probably going to hit hard for a lot of people. It's super, super important.
It's very important.
Yeah, and especially in the black community. There was a movie that came out that I think Chris Rock
produced it, yeah.
And what was it called?
Oh, Good Hair.
Good Hair. Yeah. You going to tell us a little bit?
Oh, no,
yeah.
it's basically dealing with this. I mean, and for women of color, hair is obviously a big thing, and it goes back. There's a big whole. I'm not going to go into that, but I mean, there's a big whole history behind it, and just that far-reaching ramifications that lead into today. And I think this is an interesting story, just because like it's not one that I guess mainstream doesn't really
touch on. We don't talk about that.
I mean, it's more of like a in the black community kind of deal, and like and there's a whole industry of African American hair care products.
Oh,
like
yeah.
It's like a
It's
billion-dollar
huge.
industry.
Yeah.
You know, and specifically African American hair.
Getting your hair flattened, or is that what they call it? I think they call it flattened.
Flat-ironed or something?
Flattened. No,
it's a perm, is it not?
It's it's like flattened, but I don't know exactly what the name of it is. But it's very, very expensive. It's like they do like it's like a perm where they use chemicals, and it costs like over $100 usually.
Yeah, they actually they touch on this a little bit in the second season of Glow, where the only black character I think in the show, aside from her husband, is offered to have her, not even offered, kind of told by the director to have her hair changed to white people hair, quote unquote.
Essentially.
And she's like, I didn't agree to this, and like, don't touch me with that like crazy chemical stuff before I've like sat and thought about this or whatever. And so it's interesting too, like how they're doing this, in that like it seems kind of comedic.
Yeah,
like, it's gonna be funny, but also very dramatic, and then also touching upon like a lot of like topics that
identity politics and how like obviously it's a huge issue in the black community for women in particular, but just for women in general, this idea that like your hair is so important. And like I mean, obviously I'm not black, so I can't really speak to the part about getting your hair straightened and how expensive that is and how that's part of your identity, but I can speak to the part of being a woman and having short hair and all the ramifications that come with that. My mom was like horrified when I first cut my hair short. She grew up in the time of Twiggy, where that was like really popular, but still she was horrified, and it was very much something about gender identity for her. It was like, her first comment to me was something like, "You look like a boy," or
Yeah.
something, and it's just very interesting the way
There's cultural identity behind it. There's all
Yeah, and we're
sorts of-
just like our identity is so wrapped up in the way we look, and for women, it's wrapped up in our hair, and people have so many different kind of stereotypes about you as a person if you have short hair as a woman, and I can definitely identify with that.
I think too. Well, there's also, I think that this movie's probably more about it, and Good Hair touches on it. There's a movement to like move back to just that natural beauty, and like the celebrating like naturally curly black hair, you know, instead of having the stigma.
Right.
See, it's I can at least partially identify in the fact that hair is a big issue for Native Americans.
Right. Big
So
part of the culture.
And maybe a little bit of the opposite is in where they're also, you know, have been stigmatized and not allowed to wear their, you know, hair long and things like that, you know, and that's a whole big cultural thing going back, you know, cutting the hair and you know, boarding schools and things like that. So I mean, it's I think it's a sort of a universal you know, issue, and
Definitely.
I think it's, you know, I think it's interesting that we're starting to see these sort of movies that are touching on these things, you know, these cultural things that aren't really, you know, discussed. They're known about, but they're not really discussed much.
Right.
Really
I think it's easy to kind of like toss it aside too and say,
Sure.
yeah, this isn't a big deal, but
Sure.
like it's a big deal to a lot of people.
A lot of people.
It is. It's
not
a
just
huge
like you said,
deal.
not just African American.
No.
In that sense, even though
To
that's kind of what we're
women, to
focusing
Native
on here.
Americans,
Yeah.
to Japanese
Sure.
culture too.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's huge in many different cultures and to many different people, and so, and just the way we look and all the, you know, socialization, gender politics, identity politics, all of that is wrapped up in the way we look.
Sure.
So, anyways, I watched Napoli Ever After.
Yeah. I think I would give it a watch, honestly.
Sure.
Because I mean I feel like it's not gonna be like number one on my list, but I'm gonna try. I really want to try and watch all these shows that are important shows with people of color in them that are starring, and most of the cast is that way. Like
I didn't recognize a lot of this
Atlanta
cast.
and
I just recognize the girl.
Yeah.
And I think her mom. I think her mom's somebody too.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I really want to go down the
Atlanta's
list and
good.
watch all
Atlanta's really good.
those shows. I want to watch Insecure. I want to watch Dear White People. I want to watch all those like shows that are supposed to be
actually, Dear
very,
White People's
very
really
good.
too.
Yeah.
I'm more inclined to watch this just basically, but based on the fact that it's Netflix.
Sure. And they're making it easy to watch.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, Q, but I think it's more along the lines of Q, and you know, this isn't one I'm going to watch while I'm goofing around with my son, or you know, just things not in the background or something. Yeah, I want to be able to sit down and like watch it.
Yeah.
I know there's a I'm sure it's like a PG-13 or something, but is this something you would show your kid?
This one?
Yeah.
If he was if I had a girl, I have a little boy, so
okay.
I would maybe I don't know that this would hold his interest.
Sure.
Yeah.
He's into Spider-Man.
Yeah. You know.
I know. Not
you know,
his
when he gets older,
cup of tea,
you know,
probably.
sure.
Huh.
You know,
I just
exposing him more,
interesting. Yeah.
I think it's more along the lines of attention span than like consciousness, right? Conscience right now, you know.
Right.
Of course. All right, let's move into our next trailer. We got if Beale Street could talk.
Okay.
I kind of like that I know nothing about these movies. Oh, I love her too.
Yeah.
Mama. Yeah, baby.
When I was growing up, I was trying to make a connection between the life I saw and the life I lived.
Oh no. This is gonna ruin me. I can already tell.
Days when you wonder what your role is in this country, and what your future is in it. This is one of them.
Is he in prison?
Look like it.
Sorry.
Looks like it.
I didn't mean none of that for you. I love you. You know that.
I do. And I understand what you're going through because I'm with you.
The things that tormented me the most were the very things that connected me with all the people who were alive.
Oh my god.
I'll tell you a story, if I may.
Wow.
This fall. Is this movie? Movie.
I think.
Not net. I didn't see Netflix anywhere.
That I think is how you make a trailer.
Yeah, no kidding. And it looks so pretty. Can I just say, like, the cinematography?
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
If you watch Moonlight,
yeah,
it's
I was gonna say
so beautiful. The cinematography is like, it's one of the most beautiful movies.
Not just that, like the audio design of that trailer was so well done.
Yeah.
I'm like kind of blown away by how good that trailer was. Yeah. You know, clearly about kind of I am assuming it's following this girl and her relationship with this man who's obviously ended up in trouble.
based on a book.
This is based on a book. It looks like it's in New York.
I think so. Yeah.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
Could be Chicago or New York.
Oh, right. I thought so. I thought I heard New York, or I thought I heard somebody say something about it. Maybe not. New York.
New York.
Okay.
Yeah. Big
Cool.
city.
It looks like it already premiered at Toronto Film Festival. I don't know how it did there, but yeah, who's and so we already know who wrote and directed it, so there you go.
Yeah.
That's saying a lot already.
Oh my god. Barry Jenkins, man, why do you always have to ruin me?
Yeah.
Why do you have to do that to me?
Did Barry Jenkins come out of nowhere when Moonlight got big, or was this a long time coming for him, you know?
No.
It looks like Moonlight was his second. It wasn't his directorial debut, but it was his second movie. His first one was Medicine for Melancholy, which it looks like it was also nominated. He had a lot of accolades going for that too. So clearly we're going to be hearing more from this guy.
Cool.
Yep.
As time goes on.
He didn't. Oh, okay. He wrote the script. Did he write the? Because Moonlight is based on a play.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't write the play though, but he wrote the screenplay
Yeah.
for it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Okay, it was a different thing.
Yeah.
Because I was like screenwriter. Wait a minute, and I was like, oh, okay.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Was there much else to kind of take away from that? Obviously,
No,
also it's about her relationship with her mother too.
I'm gonna. Since we're doing this right now, I'm gonna put it on rent, just because I'm gonna need a little more.
Yeah, there wasn't a ton. Yeah.
Yeah, but
it was almost an artsy trailer.
A little bit. Yeah. I
Not so
need
much
a little more,
Yeah.
just because.
It said it was a teaser too, so
Sure.
we'll probably see something with a little more plot.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the future.
Okay.
I will probably go with my friend and see this because it looks like it's going to be important. If it's anything like Moonlight, it's going to be important.
Okay.
And it's probably going to be Oscar bait. So.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see where they're going with that.
Yeah.
If it's yeah.
I think I will go with my friend to go see this.
Yeah. And this didn't look like it was modern America.
No.
Right.
No. It was period. Yeah.
No,
60s?
70s,
60s,
Okay.
probably.
All right, we're all guessing here,
That
but
late 60s. Well, I'm just saying, late 60s was like the height of like racial tensions and all of that.
yeah,
So-
and that's what the kind of the narrator was saying throughout the
a little
video.
bit,
yeah.
So but I mean that's just speculative. So
Yeah.
Sure.
And it looks like it kind of deals with a lot of the same issues that Moonlight dealt with, like in terms of just
Marginalization,
and
otherizing.
the way that the prison industrial complex and how it is mostly made up of black men,
right.
And just the plight of black men and how they have to just all the politics behind it is just so.
Yeah, and you're seeing it
fascinating
from her perspective too. So
yeah,
this is super interesting. I'm intrigued to say the least. I think this was how you should make trailers, or at least teaser trailers. Clearly not a ton of plot, but
right. That's
great.
a good thing.
Yeah. We'll see what comes of this with the next trailer. But let's move on to our next trailer here on Screen Source. To Forever. This is a trailer for season 1. I just heard about
TV
this.
show.
So
cool.
Let's see what this is.
Is that Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
Okay. I like it already.
Armisen and Rudolph.
Yeah.
Aw, that's like me. When I bowl, I always do cutter balls like every other time. Something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Or not happen. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Wow. Interesting.
Remember the time we were here and we saw all those butterflies?
Oh, yeah, that was really cool. Where do you think they were all going?
Probably the Grand Canyon. That's where I would go if I could fly.
Nice.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so I really like with the progression of that trailer.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because you knew something had to happen, and I didn't just think what was going to happen was that they're getting bored with their marriage.
Right.
And it's called Forever.
Yeah. No, I was like, it sort of had the vibe of the previous one, is in just kind of just giving you
the very basics, maybe. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I did like the progression. That was really good.
Yeah, I'm assuming you guys are fans of Maya Rudolph, Fred Armisen.
Big time.
Yeah.
Both
It's
of them,
gonna be fun to see them together playing a couple.
I think it's interesting. I think it's very interesting.
Getting old together.
That's a good pair.
They're
both really hysterical.
Yeah.
Right.
But they both kind of have that sort of deadpan thing down. I think it's gonna be interesting.
I wonder how far in it might be, like first episode. I have a feeling very soon into the season we're gonna see them into this phase of this forever. I hate this.
Right.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. This is one of those ones I might have to see a little more.
Sure.
I'll queue it up.
Yeah.
It's Prime, right? Okay.
Yeah. Amazon Prime. Yeah. It looks like they're pushing Marvelous Mrs. Maisel at the end of that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that coming back soon?
You know what? I don't know.
Now I have to look that one up.
Right.
Season 2, yeah.
Cool.
Season 1's pretty cool.
It's really good.
Yeah, Forever. I'm glad that Prime 2 is getting more shows like this.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have Prime.
Good stuff. Mozart in the Jungle is good. Or Mozart.
Oh, I haven't watched
That's really
that
good.
one.
I've heard good things about it. I
my
really
wife
want to
loves
watch
it,
that.
and it is really
My
good.
buddy's really into Tick.
If
also.
you're I think if was something completely different, but Gael Garcia Bernal. If you're a fan of him, watch the show.
Okay.
Oh, I
He's
love
all over
him.
that. Yeah.
So that would be great.
All right, that was
it's
Forever.
not just him, it's Forever.
Let's move on to our last trailer of the evening. It is called Pokemon the Movie: The Power of Us. This sounds sounds empowering.
Adorable.
Yeah.
Adorable.
Oh, it's a teaser.
This is a town where people live in harmony with the wind. Once a year, we make a promise with Lugia to keep the wind blowing.
Come on! You want me to catch a Pokemon? You'll be the best big sister ever! But I don't know anything about Pokemon.
It's no use.
Why don't you go and find somebody else to bother?
Did I dream that?
At the time, we still didn't know that our meeting wasn't just a coincidence.
Everybody, hang on.
Maybe I can.
Maybe I can.
Maybe I can.
What are you trying so hard for? We've all got Pokemon on our side.
Pokemon, the movie. The Power of Us.
Some things I can't do alone, but together.
Huh.
Well, that looks
All right.
adorable.
Yeah.
What is this?
I'm a little embarrassed that I know all of the names of all of those Pokemon.
Nice.
And it's only because I obsessively play Pokemon Go. on
You
my
do
phone.
obsessively play Pokemon Go.
So that's a problem. But anyway.
So this is the I think millionth Pokemon movie in the
That's what I'm
Pokemon
saying.
series. Yes.
So is
So
this
many of them.
There's a million of them.
Is this like a Is this picking up from somewhere, or are we?
Okay, so
retelling?
actually, if we're being real here, it's the
That's a very good
21st
question.
movie, and the second film in the rebooted anime film series. And by that,
Okay.
I believe they're saying that because Pokemon the movie I Choose You came out, I believe last year. Went and saw it with my buddy Orion. We cried, held hands.
Right.
Yeah. And so it's a sequel to that.
Is that the one?
Okay.
Is that the one where? Oh boy.
Yeah. So there's
That's
some
what I was confused with.
Yeah, let me spoil the first one a little bit. There was a big controversy over the fact that Pikachu talks.
Right.
Which I guess I could get for the hardcore fans that it would make them mad. I mean,
Right.
like there are some Pokemon that do Meowth, obviously. There's like a weird
He's like the only one,
He's
though.
like,
yeah.
Well,
But I mean, he talks for like a second, and it's actually it feels a lot like the very first movie because Ash kind of dies, turns to stone to some
Right.
effect,
Right.
like in the first movie, and then Pikachu cries, his tears come out, and then it was the power of love that brings Ash back alive.
Right.
That's so sweet.
And the interesting thing about the last movie was that it was kind of an amalgam of like first several seasons of Pokemon and some of the stories all put together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you think this is more of that?
I think that this is. I don't know that this is an amalgam of more stories put together like the first one was.
Right.
It looks like there's already some critical reception for this film. It's probably been released. It looks like
Probably overseas. Yeah.
yeah, overseas. There's going to be a limited theatrical run worldwide November. I will be going to that. It'll probably come out here for a couple weekends.
It's going to be on Thanksgiving, so.
Oh, nice. Very cool. So yeah, it looks like it's kind of picking off where that left off. It's still and I just realized too, the first movie dealt with a second generation legendary bird Ho-Oh, and this second movie is going to deal with Lugia, which is kind of the counterpart to that. If you
Very cool.
know anything about how like the games are released, they're usually released in like a set.
Yeah.
So there's like 2 legendary Pokemon to kind of focus on, or not even necessarily legendary, but like the first set was Charizard, or the red version, or the blue version, and then they released like the yellow version. There was a green version there somewhere. Maybe that was just coming later on. But anyways,
Your nerd is showing.
it's showing. Yeah, I know. Where? But you can see that they're focusing on some of the earlier generations, the first 2, maybe 3. And so they're going to, as these reboot of the series kind of continue on, we're probably going to see more of the further generations. I can't even. I think we're on 7.
Oh my gosh.
Somebody's going to tell me in the comments below, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But with all that aside, I will say it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, the animation looks beautiful.
The animation's so good. It reminded me a little bit of like.
Is that? Do you guys have an eye for anime? Is that all just computer? It's all computer now.
I don't have an eye for anime, and I'm assuming it's mostly computer based. But I will say, from the little that I do know, it looked a little bit like the movie Your Name, which we're big fans of.
Oh yeah. That was
Also,
wonderful.
check out Netflix. I think they're releasing the same studio that released Your Name, and writer there's a new show coming out. So if you're a fan of that, It'll be on Netflix within the next month or something like
The
that.
Japanese name is Kimi no Nawa.
Yeah, that's the Your Name.
But it's really good.
Very good film. But yeah, I also noticed too that they were focusing a lot on Eevee, which hasn't been a huge thing in the past, but they're releasing 2 Pokemon games coming out soon, which is focusing on Pikachu and Eevee. What are they called? Like Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, or something like that.
Yeah,
the new Switch games, which look amazing.
Yeah.
And so they're pushing it. I can tell. Like, hey, Eevee's a character.
And it's kind of funny because the next Community Day on Pokemon Go is Eevee Day.
Eevee Day? Oh, man.
Where you're going to be able to get, like,
people are going to be getting all of them.
Everything.
Cool.
It's actually next weekend, the 11th and 12th of August.
Fun. Maybe that'll be what I do on my birthday. I don't know. Okay, very cool. So that was Pokemon the movie, The Power of Us. Go check it out if you're interested.
I'll probably like, rent, or it'll be fine.
You're only gonna have a couple days to see it in theaters, so
right? Yeah, I'm not gonna. I already know I'm not gonna see it in theaters.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is your son gonna drag you? Your son into Pokemon?
No, well, not enough.
Okay.
For the limited. If it was out.
But
like for limited release in a limited window,
it's like two times in 2 different days.
Yeah,
or
you
something.
might as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I won't be able to make that.
Sure. Yeah.
If it was out and it was out in theaters, and maybe we'd go see it.
Yeah. I don't know why they're doing it. Maybe they just don't have enough funding, enough money.
No, they did something.
I'm pretty sure a lot of the original ones came out like straight to DVD also, so I don't know.
I think when they do this, it has something to do with the North American rights not being like set, or or there's still some issues, so they do like these little limited things. So
all right,
it's just one of those deals.
I think I'll go with my Movie Pass. Like, that's fine.
There you go.
By the way, Movie Pass is kind of
on its way out, man.
Going downhill.
It's very sad.
It's going downhill.
Don't leave me. I need you for for $15 a month now. They just upped the price.
I mean, it's still kind of worth it. 15 is not bad.
No, it's not.
But if you keep putting restrictions, it's like I'm out of here.
Right.
Anyways, that has been Screen Source episode 43. We did it. Thank you very much to our producer Hector, who's like fairly new, and he did this.
Thank you, Hector. You did amazing, and you're like super knowledgeable about all this stuff.
Yeah.
Really
I appreciate the fact checking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love.
It's nice to have somebody that knows film a lot.
And if you're watching, Allison, we really appreciate you watching.
Come see us.
Really awesome.
Yeah, and thank you, Bridget / Ewok for being here. Stan, Jess, my name is Dylan. Please like, share, subscribe, follow all of the verbs. Follow us on our Twitch channel too. What else? Oh, we just released our Patreon. I should be plugging that thing more often. Patreon.com/Color Circuit Live. We just got our first patron. We're very happy about it. All the tiers, all the goals we're looking for. You'll be seeing more of these guys. Yeah. So if it's annoying, let us know.
I don't care.
Twitter.
Come on, it is annoying.
We'll be at Twitter at CLR Circuit Live, and we'll see you next time.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.